Breaking overnight, Fort Atkinson police are searching for a father they say took 3 of his children against the wishes of his wife. None of them have been seen since Monday. Plus, the latest on the Beloit apartment fire that left 3 dozen people without a home. Hear from one of them who lost everything. And let the games begin. The 2018 CrossFit Games are headed to Madison, and some of the fittest athletes in the world have already arrived in town. A preview of this year's events. Your news starts right now.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is July 29th. I'm Josh Breder with meteorologist Chris Reese, and such a beautiful start to the morning out there again.
A very beautiful start. Cool, crisp, a nice sunrise as you've looked outside. Temperatures, like I mentioned, are on the cool side. We are starting out in the 40s and 50s for a lot of folks this morning. 56 for us right here in Madison and Central Dane County. You work your way back up to the north and west. Camp Douglas and Black River Falls are at 46 degrees for those morning lows. Yeah, talk about that. There was some fog in some spots, but that's beginning to lift. Plenty of sunshine out there as of now. And we're going to stay dry with sunshine mainly throughout the day. Temperatures making it into the 70s, but by the afternoon, we do see more clouds beginning to come into the mix, along with some chances of isolated showers. Not everyone will see rain, and it's also one of those situations where you may see no rain at all, and then your neighbor a mile or two down the road does get an isolated shower. The best chance for that is going to come between 2 and 4 o'clock, but once the sun sets this afternoon, we'll turn that chance off. So like I said, a mainly dry day is what we can expect out there. Traffic-wise, things are moving smoothly right now. Here's the Beltline at Todd Drive. No major issues showing up there or across most of the Madison area.
Temps in the 70s. I could get used to this.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fantastic, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
Breaking overnight, Fort Atkinson police say they are looking for a father on the run who took his 3 children against the wishes of his wife and have not been seen since Monday. Police are looking for father Hugh Zhu and his 3 children, 11-year-old Jefferson, 3-year-old Evelyn, and 3-month-old Alina. A statewide crime alert was sent late last night. It says Zhu and the kids were last seen on Monday at 2 in the morning. The release says Zhu called his wife later that morning, saying he was at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and was going to take his 3 children to China. Police say his wife asked Zhu if he wanted her to pick the children up so he could go to China alone. That's when he disconnected the call. Police have confirmed the father and children never boarded a flight. Police are also looking for Zhu's truck, which was last seen in the state of West Virginia on Wednesday. It is a 2015 white Ford F-150 with Wisconsin plate LH4873. The children's birth certificates are believed to be inside. The crime alert says Zhu had declining mental health issues and appeared very paranoid before his disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen right there, which is the contact for the Fort Atkinson Police Department. New this morning, Fitchburg police are searching for a man they say robbed a Quick Trip overnight. Police say the robbery happened around 2:30 this morning at the gas station on the 6000 block of McKee Road. They say a man walked into the store, pointed a gun at employees, and demanded money. By the time police arrived, the man had gotten away with an unknown amount of cash. Fitchburg police, the Dane County Sheriff's Office, and the town of Madison police are now all looking for that man who they say is armed. Also happening overnight, 7 people are receiving help from the Red Cross after a house fire in Janesville. This happened on the 800 block of East Court. Fire officials say just before 10, a fire started on the 3rd floor of the home. This morning, they're not exactly sure what started it, but they do believe it was accidental. The fire caused an estimated $40,000 in damage. No one was injured. Continuing coverage out of Beloit, where dozens of people are still dealing with the aftermath of a fire that tore through their apartment complex late Friday night. This morning, the 36 people affected are still without a home. We're told the fire started or spread from one outdoor balcony all throughout the building. More than a dozen units from Beloit, Rockford, and Janesville responded to the fire. Firefighters say because of the structure of the building, it was difficult to put out. That's why it took more than 3 hours to do so. Now they're trying to figure out how it started.
We're trying to put all the pieces to the puzzle together right now. Talking to people that that live there, what they did last, and just kind of putting all those pieces of the puzzle back together.
In the meantime, people who called that apartment complex home have spent the past day without one and struggled to imagine what will come next.
It doesn't feel real, man. I feel like we could just go in the house, but we can't, man. We started from scratch, man. It really hurts, you know.
Brandon says he and his family are most in need of baby clothes. They have a 3-month-old son. If you'd like to help him out or his family or the other families involved, we have more information on how to do so right now at channel3000.com. 6:35 is your time. The man accused of experimenting with dangerous chemicals, forcing residents of a West Madison apartment out of their homes, will get his day in court this week. A not guilty plea was entered on Brian Campbell's behalf back in March. Residents of about 25 units in his apartment building on Timberlake Trail had to evacuate after smelling chemicals. Hazmat crews and science officers from the Army National Guard investigated that incident and determined it was not related to terrorist activity. He's charged with endangering safety and possession of improvised explosives. Campbell will appear in court tomorrow. The 2018 CrossFit Games are just days away now, and the city of Madison is working to prepare for the tens of thousands the competitions bring in. Coming off the heels of a busy restaurant week, business owners are preparing for another rush: hungry athletes. During the CrossFit Games, they say men and women come in asking for specific things like foods with higher protein. The Avenue restaurant is just one of the places in Madison changing things up for the CrossFit Games. They've crafted an entirely new menu just for CrossFit.
They like to eat, and they'll also add additional protein. So we have a la carte pork chops, a la carte tenderloin, sirloin, chicken, whatever they want to add to make it even more of a meal besides what we have. We want to say yes and make sure that they leave ready for their next competition.
Special food accommodations aren't the only way restaurants are pulling in athletes. The Avenue's general manager says her restaurant is bringing in large tables to serve athletes, their family members, and friends. The CrossFit Games aren't just for elite athletes. You too can take part in the fitness fun at the Fit Barge. You've probably seen the freestanding space floating in the middle of Lake Monona. Out on the barge, people of all fitness levels can take classes.
I think it gives an opportunity for the local community, visitors and attending athletes and spectators to do something outside of the norm while they're here and hopefully experience CrossFit in a way that makes them want to engage with it even more.
The Fit Barge is free. If you'd like to sign up for a class, you can go to channel3000.com. Again, the Reebok CrossFit Games will begin Wednesday, August 1st, running through the 5th. This is the second year the games will be in Madison at the Alliant Energy Center. Last year, more than 70,000 people attended, generating $12 million in spending throughout Dane County. Madison did sign a new deal this year and will host the games through at least 2021. 6:38 is your time on this Sunday morning. The sun is already starting to warm things up this morning, but some rain chances are possible for the work week ahead. Here's a live look outside right now. Beautiful shot downtown at the Capitol there. Chris is tracking your full first alert forecast straight ahead. And from sea to sea, the amazing athletes pushing the limits both physically and emotionally. How they're now using their story to inspire others when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues.
Happy Sunday to all of you out there. It's another beautiful day that we are beginning to wake up to. We've got blue skies. Birds are out here chirping this morning. It's one of those mornings that's just kind of relaxing. Makes you want to go outside and get a little walk or jog in. It's a good morning to do so. Here's a live look at the Capitol right now, showing you those clear skies. Temperature-wise, we are at 56 degrees with dew points into the 50s. The winds are calm, so there's not really a whole lot to really blow you around while you are out there. A little bit cooler back to our north and west. Black River Falls at 49, Camp Douglas at 48 degrees. So you see where some of those cooler spots are. That's also where those dew points are lower as well. And you'll notice the dew points and temperatures are actually very similar to each other this morning. That's a recipe for some patchy fog to develop, especially as you work your way back towards the west. That's where we do see some fog that's dense in some spots. Lone Rock has 0 visibility, and then Boscobel about a 1/4 mile visibility, 1 mile visibility as you work your way over towards Camp Douglas. Now, temperature-wise, as we go through the rest of the afternoon, we will bounce back into the 70s and upper 70s for those highs, topping out right around 78 degrees today. But also into the afternoon does come the chance of an isolated shower or two. We are not looking at any showers here in the Madison area as of now, but there is a weak disturbance sliding by to our south and east, bringing some rain to portions of Iowa and Missouri this morning. But get this, that upper level low that we've talked about for several days is actually still in control of our weather, keeping that cool to mild air around, but also some of those shower chances coming at us from the north and west. So here's Future Track. Once we get beyond pretty much 11:30 today, we'll see that opportunity for some of those showers and thunderstorms to develop into the afternoon. No needs to worry here. You'll notice it's all mainly just kind of isolated in nature. And then by the time we get you into the afternoon, we'll let the sun set. We'll turn off that shower chance, temperatures falling back into the 60s. But that region of high pressure and control still going to dance around across the northern plains. But to our south, a region of low pressure moving by will eventually create threat for additional chances for some showers and thunderstorms as we go through the next couple of days. Temperatures do stay fairly mild and in the upper 70s as we go through the next couple of days. 78 this afternoon, and again, that isolated chance for a shower or two. 79 for your Monday. 80s return by Wednesday, but that's a cold front with more rain chances, and we're going to keep our temperatures staying right around to just below average through the next 10 days, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
They're ordinary people doing extraordinary things, pushing the limits to succeed and help others do the same. This athletic feat is both inspirational and incredible. Michelle Miller shares the story of a cycling team called C2C.
Carolyn Gaynor was all smiles.
You're doing great!
As she helped blind athlete Randy Struck complete the Texas Ironman triathlon last spring.
I love incredibly long endurance challenges, but to me, the motivating factor is I love guiding blind and visually impaired athletes. That's the thing that keeps me training every day.
But while she was swimming, biking, and running with Randy, her future teammates were nearly 1,000 miles away, training for an even more rigorous competition. Team C2C.
All right, guys.
4 tandem bikes, 8 athletes, 4 of them blind, was getting ready for the Race Across America, a cycling challenge from the West Coast to the East. The team was the concept of 2 visually impaired athletes, Jack Chin and Dan Berlin.
We both feel like we wanted to demonstrate to the world that people who are blind can be extraordinarily successful, because that message just does not get out enough.
So your visual impairment's just a minor detail in the story, right?
To us, yes. We never gave it a second thought.
Jack and Carolyn are one of the 4 tandem teams, riding together for the first time just a month before the big race. Carolyn, who works with financial advisors in her day job, sits up front and is the pilot. Jack, a father of 2 and a lawyer at Google, sits in the back and is known as the stoker.
So how do you know this is going to work?
It's just going to work.
I trust and believe that Jack and I can make this work. My goal is to keep whatever cadence Jack prefers.
All right.
On a chilly June morning in Oceanside, California, it was time to race and for Team C2C to face challenges beyond their imaginations.
Hey, team.
It's learning those lessons and overcoming those insane obstacles that really make you more resilient in life generally. And so I'm excited to get past the dark times.
It's a real test of what your ability is to go beyond your own boundaries.
Absolutely.
And then they were off. Carolyn documented the obstacles and triumphs along the way. The race is more than 3,000 miles, challenging riders with changing terrains and weather from California to Annapolis, Maryland.
Jack and I just finished a ride in Colorado. Jack, how are you feeling?
I feel much better. I feel good.
The scariest part was crosswinds because you didn't know when it was going to happen. It was like a hidden ghost was just smashing into the side of the bike. And let me tell you, Missouri is hilly and it's windy and there's traffic and I'm eating Funyuns and they're amazing. Tina's in the car. I can help. We got it.
Near the end of the race in West Virginia, torrential rains forced Carolyn and Jack to carry their bike at night through floodwaters. But in the end, 7 days, 15 hours, and 3 minutes after they began, Team C2C crossed the finish line.
Team C2C!
Where an emotional and exhausted Carolyn fell into her husband's waiting arms.
Any race that essentially almost breaks me is one that I think is worth doing because that's how you grow.
Still ahead this morning, a UW-Madison student is not letting his rare blood disorder stop him from pursuing his dreams. This News 3 exclusive next on News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning. Another beautiful sunrise that we have seen out there. Crystal blue skies. Some of the patchy fog beginning to lift onto the horizon there. But outside of that, it is literally blue sky with very little cloud cover out there. 56 degrees the temperature for us here in Madison. Lots of folks are still into the upper 40s and low to mid 50s for those temperatures to start out this morning. Dew points are in the 50s as well. Now, as we go through the rest of the afternoon, we're going to see those temperatures respond by warming up into the upper 70s. You work your way to the south, and a few folks may see the 80-degree mark today, but the further you are to the north, the cooler you will be. There is a chance of an isolated shower into the afternoon. Not everyone will see a shower. It's one of those situations where you may see no rain at all. Your neighbor a mile up the road gets a downpour later on too. So we'll watch that, and we do need this rain. Of course, we are abnormally dry in the drought monitor here in Madison, and of course you work your way back to other parts of the country and things are much drier. But we'll watch that chance for some rain later on today. Josh?
Thanks, Chris. Time now is just about 6:53. A University of Wisconsin piano student isn't letting a rare blood disorder stop him from pursuing his dreams of both performing and teaching. But it's an expensive medication that's allowing him to do so. Only News 3's Amanda Quintana has the story.
As soon as Kung Woo Jin touches a piano, he's lost in the music. He's confident, calm. With each key, that passion flows through his veins. But what led him to this love is the same thing that's holding him back.
There were many days that I couldn't go to school when I was an elementary student. And then whenever that happened, I was listening to classical music and I was playing around the piano. And then, I don't know, that became kind of cheesy, but my best friend.
Growing up in South Korea with a severe form of hemophilia was a challenge. The rare disorder means he's missing the blood clotting protein, causing him to bleed into joints and muscles, pushing his dreams of becoming a classical pianist further from his reach.
You can have bleeding into wrists, fingers, ankles, all the things that would be very detrimental to someone who plays the piano.
So it was really getting worse because I have to practice, but when I practice it gets hurt, but then I cannot get enough medication. So yeah, I was trying my best, but in the meantime, it was getting worse.
From this view, you'd never guess. All thanks to modern medicine. He injects himself 3 times a week with a protein that helps to clot his blood. But each $2,000 to $3,000 dose has only been readily available since he moved to the U.S. in 2009.
It really makes my life much easier. And then also easier to envision myself doing what I want to do here.
The injections prevent almost all of his bleeds, that peace of mind giving him the courage to pursue a doctorate in piano at UW, now sharing his gift with his nurses at UW Health as a way to say thank you. But what you can't tell from each swift move of his fingers and tap of the pedal, the irreversible joint damage and arthritis caused over the 27 years of not being able to get the medication he needed in South Korea.
When I first came to US, it was pretty actually bad. I couldn't work out at all. I was really trying not to walk even because it might cause any bleeding inside.
But he's playing through the pain. And even on occasion, when practicing for 5 hours before big concerts, that medication will step in to stop more damage.
After that, I feel a little bit of pain inside of my joints. That means I'm starting to have a bleeding inside. So I have to inject right away whenever I feel that, because once the bleeding happens inside, it takes more medication to actually stop it.
Something he won't be able to turn to if he moves back home.
I don't want to think about that, but yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I want to get a job in America and stay here.
Some of his biggest supporters hoping he gets a job offer to both teach and perform somewhere that offers him health insurance so he can.
Certainly there's a risk for letting this disease kind of control your life and just setting up barriers, and he hasn't let that happen.
Kung Woo is on track to graduate in May. Well, time now is 6:56. Still to come on News 3 This Morning Sunday, the latest on the search for the missing father and children from Fort Atkinson. But first, here's a preview of what's ahead this morning on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Heinden, and today on For the Record, we're going to preview the Madison 365 Leadership Summit. The first of its kind summit of leaders of color from throughout Wisconsin will be hosted by the Ho-Chunk Nation at its convention center in Wisconsin Dells, and we'll talk about who'll be there and what they'll be talking about and what it means for this state with Madison 365 publisher and CEO Henry Sanders. That's coming up this morning at 10:30 on WISC.
Right now, the death toll has climbed to at least 5 in California, where wildfires are spreading across the state, while the fires are forcing even more evacuations and threatening thousands of lives.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is 7 a.m. now on this July 29th. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will have your forecast update in just a moment, but first let's get right to today's headlines. Happening now, Fort Atkinson police say they are looking for a father on the run who took his 3 children against the wishes of his wife and have not been seen since Monday. Police are looking for father Heo Zhu and his 3 children, 11-year-old Jefferson, 3-year-old Evelyn, and 3-month-old Alina. A statewide crime alert was sent late last night. It says Zhu and the kids were last seen on Monday at 2 in the morning. The release says Zhu called his wife later that morning, saying he was at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and was going to take his 3 children to China. Police say his wife asked Zhu if he wanted her to pick the children up so he could go to China alone. That's when he disconnected the call. Police have confirmed the father and children never boarded that flight. Police are also looking for Zoo's truck, which was last seen in the state of West Virginia on Wednesday. It is a 2015 white Ford F-150 with the Wisconsin plate LH4873. The children's birth certificates are believed to be inside. The crime alert says Zoo had declining mental health issues and appeared very paranoid before his disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen right there, which is the contact for the Fort Atkinson Police Department. Right now, Fitchburg police are searching for an armed man they say robbed a Quick Trip overnight. Police say the robbery happened around 2:30 this morning at the gas station on the 6000 block of McKee Road. They say a man walked into the store, pointed a gun at employees, and demanded cash. By the time police arrived, the man had gotten away with an unknown amount of money. Fitchburg Police, the Dane County Sheriff's Office, and the town of Madison Police are now all looking for that man who they say is armed. The city of Madison is preparing to welcome thousands of athletes to town this week. The Reebok CrossFit Games will begin Wednesday, August 1st, running through the 5th. This is the second year the games will be in Madison at the Alliant Energy Center. Last year, more than 70,000 people attended, generating $12 million in spending throughout Dane County. Madison signed a new deal this year and will host the games through at least 2021. And now we send it over to Chris for your first alert forecast. Another beauty out there this morning, Chris.
That's right, Josh, and it's a good morning for all of us. Good morning to all of you. I'll tell you who's having a great morning. Our buddy Barrett, the polar bear, is absolutely swimming around and just having a grand old time doing what probably a lot of us would love to do, and that's just lounge around and enjoy the surroundings out there. I can watch that all day. He is definitely chilling, no pun intended there. Live sky cam showing you the clear skies that we do have. Some fog on the horizon. That is now starting to rise as we go throughout the day. 59 our temperature for us here in Madison. And our folks that were in the 40s, Black River Falls and Camp Douglas, they've now made it to 51 degrees. So you see, we are warming up very quickly as we go through the next several hours here. We'll warm up to about 77 degrees. Some folks may hit that 80-degree mark with enough sunshine, but into the afternoon, I do suspect more clouds will begin to develop, and then there's that chance of isolated showers between about 2 and 5 o'clock. Outside of those showers, conditions will be mainly dry and partly sunny. And again, like I said, that best chance between 2 and 5 o'clock for some of those isolated showers, though they can't be ruled out as early as, say, 11:30 and lasting all the way until 8 o'clock or so. But for the most part, we should have a fairly dry day. We do need the rain, though. This month has been very dry. In fact, we've only seen really a few days with more than a trace of some rain, and there are more days as we go into next week that do have some chances for rain as well. Traffic-wise, things do continue to look smoothly all across the Madison area. Dane County looks great as well with no major crashes or delays. Back to you, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Just about 7:05 on this Sunday morning. Right now, wildfires are spreading across California this morning, forcing officials to extend the closure of the Yosemite Valley by another week. They're maintaining evacuations for thousands of people farther north around Redding. By far, the most destructive fire has been the Carr Fire, which has spread to more than 80,000 acres after igniting from a vehicle spark 1 week ago. It's caused 5 deaths so far. 3 members of one family were the latest victims. Officials say the Carr Fire has doubled in size and is still growing. 20 other wildfires are also burning across that state. Still, some homeowners are vowing to stay put as long as possible.
Check it every once in a while and take a look to see if I can see anything active going on.
Fire officials say low humidity and dry conditions have made the fires even worse. Developing this morning out of Missouri, the National Transportation and Safety Board has completed their initial review of surveillance video recovered from the duck boat tragedy. The recording indicates waters there initially appeared calm. Just about 5 minutes later, winds rapidly picked up. The inward-facing video recording ended just after 7 p.m. though, while the boat was still on the surface. Authorities say no conclusions about why the boat sank should be made from the preliminary information gathered from that video review. The midterm elections are just a few months away, with primaries scheduled even sooner. Microsoft now says Russia has already targeted at least 3 campaigns in the upcoming midterm elections. The finding comes amid growing criticism that President Trump hasn't focused enough on the election cybersecurity threat from Russia. The president met with his national security team in the White House Situation Room to discuss election interference this week. So far, though, the administration has been vague on the details.
Rest assured, there are actions underway to protect our elections or to expose any by anybody, external efforts to influence the American public, to show false news, that sort of thing.
A senior Microsoft executive confirms 3 2018 candidates have been targeted by the same group of Russian intelligence operatives who targeted Democrats in 2016. 7:07 this morning, spreading messages of positivity and hope to all who drive by. The positive billboards popping up across a major Midwestern city. What's behind them and why you might start to see more of them across the country. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good Sunday morning to all of you out there. Still lots of sunshine around and comfortable temperatures as well as you begin to step out the door. It's one of those kind of mornings that just puts a smile on your face and makes you want to take a deep breath of the fresh air. Here's a live look at the Capitol right now showing you we really have clear skies for us here in Madison, although some clouds are being reported at the airport. 59 degrees, the temperature with that dew point at 57. So it's that air mass that still kind of feels a little bit dry out there. We did have some of our friends that were in the 40s earlier. They have all made it into the 50s. In fact, La Crosse now making it to 60 degrees this morning. Same as you work your way over towards Lakeshore. That's where there are some temperatures into the 60s. But dew points are also very much in the 50s, which is why we have seen some of the development of fog. When temperature and dew point get very close together, you end up with the development of patchy to dense fog at times. Boscobel and Lone Rock both have zero visibility. Elsewhere, the visibility has gotten better. As we go farther through the morning, we'll watch those clouds lift. We'll also watch thermometers lift all the way into the upper 70s. Some folks, especially south of Madison, could see those highs into the lower 80s today. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But there also is a chance for some showers to develop. That best shower chance comes pretty much between 2 and 5 o'clock today, but of course we'll have more shower chances along with that. It's an isolated shower chance, so it will not be a washout. Don't cancel your plans. Have an umbrella handy, but if you have an opportunity to get outdoors today, take full advantage of that. No real showers around Wisconsin now. There are some showers kind of in southern Iowa through central Illinois at this hour. Our shower chance is more so a part of an upper level low that is still in control. That's sending that cool to mild air in from Canada, but that northwesterly flow and that upper level low still leading some of those shower chances. So here's what's going to happen as we get you towards about lunchtime today. You'll notice the clouds and the showers beginning to bubble up at that point. We'll see that lasting really through the afternoon. By the time the sun sets, so we'll turn off most of those rain chances around here. But the pattern does repeat as we get you into your Monday. This time there's a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. That high pressure and control works its way back to the west with the region of low pressure gradually sinking in from the south and east. That's a big thing that we'll have to keep a close eye on as we go through the week for additional chances for some showers and thunderstorms. This afternoon, 78 degrees with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 79 for your high on Monday with the slight chance of a shower into the afternoon, and that chance of showers does increase Wednesday and the Thursday. That is another cold front moving through the region, but overall the next 10 days will keep temperatures about what they should be for this time of the year.
Well, it looks like my air conditioner will be taking a little bit more of a vacation for a few more days.
Well, that sounds like saved money to me.
I love it. All right, Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this photo Denise Simey posted on Facebook. Such a beautiful sky right there. Thank you so much for sharing, Denise. What does your morning look like? Be sure to take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page. Or you can also find us on Twitter or Instagram and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share all of our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. Right now, a Michigan girl is helping the men and women who fought for our country one cup of lemonade at a time. 12-year-old Sammy Stryker sells lemonade, and all of the profits go to the VA hospital in her state. Last year, Sammy raised close to $1,500. This year, she raised more than $2,000. Stryker says people at the VA were floored that someone as young as her was able to raise so much money for people she doesn't even know. Stryker credits her success to her customers who keep encouraging her to raise even more money.
They say that we need more people like you in the community because we can take all the help we can get for the hospitals, and because there's a lot of people that need help.
Stryker already has plans for next year's lemonade stand. She's upping her game, hoping to raise $5,000 in just 5 days. 7:15 right now. 2 billboard companies are spreading messages of positivity across the country, prominently displayed for drivers to see. In one major Midwestern city, you'll find the billboards all over. Mike Sullivan explains how they're providing a much-needed pick-me-up to those in need.
You'll find billboards like the one above me all across the city with positive messages aiming to pick you up. What if a simple touch could change a person's day, a phrase?
Oh, this one's good.
Put a smile on a total stranger.
I had no idea that it was going to go anywhere. I really didn't expect it to.
But Michaela White's simple message is creating an impact countrywide. These 4 words.
I landed on the "You are simply magnificent."
Popping up on billboards in 21 states, including 5 spots in Indy.
My grandma actually posted a picture of one that's by her house.
She and 14 other artists won a contest by billboard companies Adams and Fairway Outdoors. A simple premise to the million artists following Good Type on Instagram.
If you could put any message on a billboard, what would it say?
They say they had like over 150,000 entries.
Positive messages aiming to lift communities. Don Howell is Fairway's art director.
You know, I just hope it brightens someone's day.
The companies are donating 700 boards, 60 in Indy.
They couldn't be too complicated or too intricate.
I love bright colors.
But music is her inspiration.
One of the songs I was listening to, he used the word magnificent in it.
So she jotted it down.
Yeah.
You are simply magnificent.
You have to rely so heavily on yourself to propel yourself in this positive way. It's nice to have, like, somebody else give you a little pick-me-up.
Because if you look around, think with your heart.
Like, I put a lot of myself into it.
Nothing is out of reach. Michaela says her social media accounts are blowing up because every billboard has the Instagram handle of its creator. She's getting messages from all around the country. In the North Side, I'm Mike Sullivan, CBS 4 News.
Michaela says her social media accounts are blowing up because every billboard has the Instagram handle of the creator. She is getting messages from all across the country. 7:17 this morning, the call is out from the nation's pediatricians for stronger regulations when it comes to chemicals in your children's food. Plus, can significantly reducing your blood pressure help cut your dementia risk? This morning's top health stories are straight ahead. And the gift of life, the special present a daughter gave her dad that he'll never forget, proving love can carry a family through the darkest of times. This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good Sunday morning to all of you out there. It's one of those mornings that Sunday lives up to its name. Initially, we've got lots of sunshine out there. Temperature-wise, we've made it to 59 degrees. Some folks are approaching, or have made it rather, into the 60s. By the time we get you into the afternoon, it will be the upper 70s and low 80s for those highs for most of us. Here in Madison, we should see a high right around 78 degrees. But here's where things begin to change up. Into the afternoon, more clouds may develop. We'll also see that chance for some isolated showers, the greatest chance between 2 and 5 o'clock. We'll keep a close eye on that. Not everyone will see a shower today. Key the term isolated. But of course, we'll be watching that. Stay tuned for the latest weather, and we'll keep you up to date as we go throughout your day. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:21 is your time. We have some positive news this morning in the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia. A study presented at the Alzheimer's Association this week suggests intensely treating blood pressure to get the top number down to 120 instead of 140 can reduce the chances of developing mild cognitive impairment and dementia. Doctors say if you have cardiovascular risk factors like high blood pressure, get them under control in your 30s and 40s. This is the first time doctors have been able to use a clinical trial to show that managing blood pressure can reduce a person's risk of cognitive impairment. A product manufactured right here in Wisconsin may be contaminated with salmonella. Associated Milk Producers Incorporated is recalling some of its dry whey powder produced at a plant in Blair, Wisconsin. The powder is not sold directly to consumers, but is used as an ingredient in some foods. The company says all of its products have tested negative for salmonella so far, but they're issuing the recall as a precaution. Right now, the American Academy of Pediatrics is calling for stiffer federal regulations when it comes to more than 10,000 FDA-approved chemicals added to food and food packaging. Doctors warn children are particularly vulnerable because they are still growing and developing. Direct additives such as artificial coloring, nitrates, and nitrites, a preservative commonly found in processed meat, are a big concern. A new study exploring the heart health benefits of popular foods found even low-fat dairy products should be limited and consumed with caution. Doctors strongly recommend eliminating added sugars as much as possible while affirming the benefits of mushrooms, beans, lentils, tea, and coffee, long thought to be beneficial for your heart. And now to a positive health update. A Pennsylvania family's long and hard-fought medical journey is proving that love can carry them through some of the darkest times. This month, a daughter donated more than half of her liver to save her dad's life. Jesse Schaefer has the story.
What are you looking forward to most?
Living.
Jay Pauley and his daughter Kristen, both of Fayette County, made a promise to each other a long time ago. They'd always be there for each other. In their case, though, that means something extraordinary.
He says that God's given him a second chance.
Kristen just saved her father's life. In December, Jay was told his liver was failing. He was immediately placed on the national transplant list, but was told that he likely wouldn't survive the 18 months it could take to find a match. Kristen immediately jumped in. They found out she is a match. And here they are at University of Pittsburgh Medical Center.
Come on in.
Kristen and Jay, they both agree. They say in situations like this one, you find out who your friends are. And in this case, they've had dozens from beginning to end.
Amen.
Family and friends surrounded them. They prayed, they hugged, they spent the last few minutes before surgery together.
I love you, baby.
After nearly 14 hours in the operating room, the two emerged, changed forever. The first thing on Kristen's mind, getting to her father's room.
I'm gonna, make it down there one way or another.
And that she did.
I love you so much.
This is the first time Jay had seen that video, a moment this family will never forget.
I would do it, suffer through the pain. I would do it 1,000 times over for him.
Jay's new liver immediately began working, which means many, many years have potentially been added to his life, a life that he plans to live to the very fullest.
I got a tough daughter. She saved my life.
And in parting, as a man who has survived a disease
All right, babe, love you.
with a 100% fatal outcome without a transplant, Jay has some advice for anyone who takes the little things for granted.
Live like today tomorrow. Other than I promised it.
In Charleston, for West Virginia Tonight, I'm Jesse Schaefer.
We're happy to report that Kristen and Jay are now home and recovering. They are both expected to be okay.
3, 2, 1, and 0!
Transplant recipients, living donors, and donor families came together in celebration for the gift of life this weekend. The Capital City Run Walk is meant to raise awareness about organ donation, especially kidney donation.
Right now, today, here in Wisconsin, there are about 2,300 people waiting for some kind of life-saving organ, but of those 2,300, over 1,800 are waiting for kidneys.
The National Kidney Foundation of Wisconsin helped organize the event. The group has been serving Wisconsin for 50 years. 7:26 is your time. We have a look at what's making headlines this morning just ahead, including the frantic search for the missing kids who Fort Atkinson police believe were taken by their father without their mother's permission. Plus, what's next for the 36 people displaced after a massive fire in Beloit. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday. Some of the fittest people on the planet will be in Madison this week. A preview of this year's CrossFit Games.
This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning. Sunday, it is just about 7:30 on this July 29th. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will have your forecast for this Sunday coming up in just a little bit, but first let's get you right to today's top stories. Happening now, Fort Atkinson police say they are looking for a father on the run who took his 3 children against the wishes of his wife and have not been seen since Monday. Police are looking for Father Hoy Chu and his 3 children, 11-year-old Jefferson, 3-year-old Evelyn, and 3-month-old Alina. A statewide crime alert was sent late last night. It says Chu and the kids were last seen on Monday at 2 in the morning. The release says Chu later called his wife, saying he was at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and was going to take his 3 children to China. Police say his wife asked Chu if he wanted her to pick the children up so he could go to China alone. That's when he disconnected the call. Police have confirmed they never boarded a flight. Police are also looking for Chu's truck, which was last seen in the state of West Virginia on Wednesday. It is a 2015 white Ford F-150 with Wisconsin plates, LH4873. The children's birth certificates are also believed to be inside. The crime alert says Chu had declining mental health issues and appeared very paranoid before his disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen, which is the contact for Fort Atkinson Police. New this morning, Fitchburg police are searching for an armed man who they say robbed a Quick Trip overnight. Police say the robbery happened around 2:30 this morning at the gas station on the 6000 block of McKee Road. They say a man walked into the store, pointed a gun at employees, and demanded money. By the time police arrived, the man had gotten away with an unknown amount of cash. Fitchburg Police, the Dane County Sheriff's Office, and the town of Madison Police are now all looking for that man, who they say is armed. And now time for your first alert forecast. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning. We're starting out the morning with some fog in isolated spots out there. It's going to be mainly towards the west near Boscobel and Lone Rock. That's where visibility is 0 right now. Up towards La Crosse, you only got 1.5 miles visibility. But as we go through the rest of the morning, we will see that fog begin to lift. We've already seen that here in parts of Dane County. Looking out of our sky camera, you can kind of see that on the horizon. That's a little bit of gray that's down there right kind of flush with the land there. That was some fog earlier that did lift, and we have clear skies outside of that. 59 degrees, the temperatures right now. Winds are calm. We'll begin to pick those up from the northeast at about 5 to 10 later on throughout the morning. 54 in Black River Falls, 51 still in Camp Douglas, 60 as you work your way towards Monroe. Mineral Point at 61 degrees right now. This morning, temperatures will make it from the upper 50s and into the mid 70s, becoming partly sunny into the afternoon. That is when we do have that chance of an isolated shower or two to pop up as well, but we'll see those highs right around 78 degrees today. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
New this morning, 7 people are receiving help from the Red Cross after a house fire in Janesville. It happened on the 800 block of East Court. Fire officials say just before 10, a fire started on the 3rd floor of the home. This morning, they're not sure exactly what started it, but they do believe it was accidental. The fire caused an estimated $40,000 in damage. No one was injured. Continuing coverage out of Beloit, where dozens of people are still dealing with the aftermath of a fire that tore through their apartment complex late Friday night. This morning, the 36 people affected are still without a home. We're told the fire spread from one outdoor balcony all throughout the building. More than a dozen units from Beloit, Rockford, and Janesville responded to the fire. Firefighters say because of the structure of the building, it was difficult to put out safely. That's why it took more than 3 hours. Now they're just trying to figure out how it started.
They're trying to put all the pieces to the puzzle together right now, you know, talking to people that live there, what they did last, and just kind of putting all those pieces of the puzzle back together.
In the meantime, people who called that apartment complex home have spent the past day without one and struggled to imagine what will come next.
It doesn't feel real, man. I feel like we could just go in the house, but we can't, man. We started from scratch, man. It really hurts, you know.
Brandon says he and his family are most in need of baby clothes right now. They have a 3-month-old son. If you'd like to help him, his family, or the other families affected, we have more information on how to do so at channel3000.com. 7:35 right now. The man accused of experimenting with dangerous chemicals, forcing residents of a West Madison apartment out of their homes, will get his day in court this week. A not guilty plea was entered on Brian Campbell's behalf back in March. Residents of about 25 units in his apartment building on Timberlake Trail had to evacuate after smelling chemicals. Hazmat crews and science officers from the Army National Guard investigated that incident and determined it was not related to terrorism. He's charged with endangering safety and possession of improvised explosives. Campbell will appear in court tomorrow. The 2015 CrossFit Games are just days away now, and the city of Madison is working hard to prepare for the tens of thousands the competitions will bring in. Coming off the heels of a busy restaurant week, business owners are preparing for another rush: hungry athletes. During the CrossFit Games, they say men and women come in asking for specific things like foods with higher protein. But the games aren't just for elite athletes. You too can take part in all of the fun at the fitness barge. You've probably seen the freestanding space floating in the middle of Lake Monona. Out on the Fit Barge, people of all fitness levels can take classes for free. The Reebok CrossFit Games begin Wednesday, August 1st, running through the 5th. This is the second year the games will be in Madison at the Alliant Energy Center. Coming up on 7:37 this morning, for the first time in more than a decade, Congress is considering changes to the country's main retirement savings program, the 401k. And while Tesla often steals the headlines, the Nissan Leaf was once the best-selling electric vehicle in the world. How the newest, completely restyled version sizes up to the competition when News 3 This Morning Sunday returns.
Good morning. If you're waking up and just joining us, lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures already into the 50s and low 60s for some of us. We'll watch our temperatures rise into the mid 70s by the time we get you towards lunchtime, becoming partly sunny into the afternoon. That's right. We'll see some cloud cover beginning to increase, along with that chance of an isolated shower or two. Not everyone will see rain today. Highs topping out right around 78. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:41 right now. For the first time in more than a decade, Congress is considering changes to the country's main retirement savings plan, the 401k. Early conversations include requiring plan sponsors to let participants know how much their total savings would translate into monthly income. a repeal of the age limit on IRA contributions, and a more liberal approach to pooled 401k plans, which would help more small businesses offer retirement benefits to their employees. But experts say these fixes do not address one of the main problems with retirement plans: leakage. That's the term for pre-retirement withdrawals that permanently remove money from retirement savings accounts. What is hard to believe, but with the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the company's groundbreaking battery electric vehicle has been on the market for 8 years. The oddly shaped first-generation Leaf became the best-selling electric vehicle in the world, while Tesla stole all the headlines. Now completely restyled, Mark Kane heads behind the wheel to explain how the Nissan Leaf remains an EV for the masses.
The all-new Leaf.
Yes,
They turned a new leaf.
They've turned a new leaf. I'm sure no one's ever used that before.
Fine. So it's not the most original line, but this 2018 Nissan Leaf sure is original. This looks almost like a regular car.
Almost like a regular car. You know, the one thing I'll challenge you to do to this is find the gas cap.
You won't find the gas cap because there isn't one. The Leaf is completely powered by batteries. You don't fill it up, you charge it up. Now, if you just plug it into your outlet in the wall,
right?
How long is this going to take?
It'll take about 16 hours to get a full recharge from zero. Now, typically nobody drives the car down to zero, so if you're commuting 10 miles or 20 miles and you drive to work and back and you just want to recharge that 40 miles, you can do that overnight, no problem, with a 110.
But if you got the 240,
At
overnight.
240, you can recharge completely pretty much overnight.
And with the 2018 Leaf, that recharge will take you 150 miles, up from the previous model's range of about 90 miles.
This is 150 miles right now, but at the end of the year, they're going to have a 60 kilowatt battery option that'll get 225 miles.
So getting more real world.
Right, right. And if you got the range and you have the ability to fast charge, now you can start taking longer and longer trips with it.
So it's practical.
Yeah.
So let's get beyond the gee whiz factor of an EV. You still have to drive this thing. How does the Leaf stack up as, say, a car?
It's a really nice compact car. You've got a really well-designed interior. On this upgraded version, we've got nice leather, really good trim bits. There's no difference between this car and, you know, a typical
Nissan Sentra.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly the point of the 2018 Leaf.
You know, this car rides and drives very much like a regular gas-powered car. It's only when you realize how quiet it is that you start to think, wow, this is really different. The great thing about an electric motor is all the torque. This motor is 147 horsepower, but it has 236 pound-feet of torque, which is way more torque than that is in the Nissan Rogue, say, for example. So if I keep this in regular drive mode and I give it a little gas, it kind of pushes you back a little bit.
But it doesn't push back against your wallet.
This car is less expensive than the car it replaces. So you get more range, you get better technology, you got a better ride, you get better handling, and you're paying about $600 less than the 2017 Leaf.
As always, you can head to rideanddrives.com for more car reviews put together by Harvey. 7:45 this Sunday morning. It certainly felt more like fall than summer over the past week with temperatures in the 70s. But will the relief continue going into the work week? Here's a live look over downtown this morning. Beautiful shot right there of the Capitol. Chris is in next with your full First Alert forecast on News 3 This Morning Sunday. But first, happy birthday to Kai and Sullivan and all the other kiddos turning 3 years old today. We're back after this.
Good morning, guys. We're waking up to sunshine and temperatures that are into the 50s. In fact, the mid 50s for us here in Madison. Make that upper 50s now. We've warmed up to 59 degrees, 64 down in Monroe, 63 over towards Mineral Point. All of us are seeing those temperatures into the 50s and 60s this morning. Dew points also into the 50s and 60s as of now. Some fog has been noted in spots, but we're going to get that fog to lift up as we go through the rest of the day. Temperatures are going to be warming up into the upper 70s under partly sunny skies with that chance for some showers later on today as well. In fact, that greatest shower chance is going to begin to develop right around noontime and go to about 5 or 6 o'clock later on this afternoon. No showers are out there right now. Like I mentioned, it is full sunshine for all of us. There is a weak disturbance passing to the south across southern Iowa as of now, sending some clouds as far north as Dubuque and extreme southwestern Wisconsin. We'll watch some of that cloud cover increase into the afternoon, though, because oddly enough, our weather still controlled by this upper level low over eastern Canada. That's sending that north to northwesterly wind still in play, and that air is of course cool in the mornings, mild into the afternoon. But that's also just enough of a disturbance to create that shower chance as we go into the afternoon and evening. So here we are right around 1 o'clock. You saw how some of those showers did begin to bubble up. We'll watch those bubble up into the afternoon. Once the sun sets, we'll turn that shower chance off. Temperatures are going to cool back down into the 50s. We'll also get more in the way of some sunshine in here as well. A region of high pressure back to the west, and then we have this region of low pressure that's going to be sliding by to the south and east. That's going to lead to increased rain chances on your Monday, along with our Tuesday as well. We'll keep a very close eye on those as we go through the rest of the week. But our temperature trend should remain into the upper 70s and low 80s for those highs. You know, that's about where we should be for this time of the year anyway. This morning, 58 to 76 degrees, becoming sunny, or partly sunny rather, into the afternoon. And then of course, that's when we do have that chance of an isolated shower or two to come in to the mix. For the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to watch those temperatures stay in the 70s and 80s with some chances for some showers and thunderstorms here or there. Here's your pet walk, Simba in Baraboo. He must see something that looks like a snack this morning. And if you're going to be out walking your cat later on, I mean, 77 degrees, again, a chance of an isolated shower or two.
What a beautiful day. I feel like we've needed this relief.
We have been spoiled lately. So if we get any more heat coming up in the forecast, we're going to be a little upset about it.
Oh, boy. All right. And you're going to be the bad guy then.
I'm not going to do it.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. We'll stay with News 3 and Channel3000.com today. Tonight at 5:30 and 10, we'll bring you the very latest on those missing kids from Fort Atkinson and what police are doing to find them. But first, it's a table for two permanently reserved at a restaurant. The story behind this little sign forever displayed as a table at Wendy's. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday. And welcome back at 7:55 this morning, reserved for Don and Sandy. If you stop by the Wendy's in Pineville, Louisiana, you'll see a little sign with that message.
And just what do you have to do to get a table permanently reserved for you at Wendy's? Max Lindsay introduces us to the couple getting the story behind their reserved table.
Owens? It's not uncommon to catch quite a few customers grabbing a bite to eat at Wendy's. But there's something a little special about one table at this location in Pineville.
We love it here.
Don and Sandy Furman deemed the little restaurant their favorite stop quite a few years ago.
Oh my, probably 10 years. And
before they remodeled, we were here, and then we've been here ever since.
Making it their go-to whenever possible.
But we probably came 5 days a week too. The truth of it is, we used to come in here and the two of us could eat for $2.16. You couldn't beat that.
So much so that they caught the attention of the staff.
I was actually doing some work in the dining room, and we started talking and just developed a relationship with them on a one-on-one basis.
So you can imagine their concern when the restaurant closed its doors for 3 weeks.
Of course, when we remodeled, everything kind of changed, so they were kind of worried about, losing their table.
But the couple made a joke.
I told him I needed a plaque on my pew.
And next thing you know.
So I went and had a sign made for them, to designate their own table.
I was just teasing with him, never dreaming that he would actually do that. But he did, and we felt very honored and proud.
And it's interesting that we'll come by here other than at that time of day, and we'll look here, there won't be anybody sitting here.
Mays says it's a way to give back.
They reserve a spot for us in their day every day, so we felt like that we should reserve a spot in our dining room to kind of show our appreciation.
So whether it's because of the food,
chicken
in some form,
or the folks serving it,
we love the people, we love all the employees.
The Furmans say they'll definitely be back.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
And as far as that sign,
I'd be very disappointed if I walked in and it was gone.
They have no need to worry about it.
That will not come down unless they ask me to take it down. That's their table, and it'll always be reserved for them.
Okay, that is cute.
You can't help but smile watching a story like that.
And I love how they said $2.16 is how they used to be able to eat.
I know. Hey, Wendy's, man, it's a good place, and it can be pretty cheap sometimes. Let's go ahead and show you all the forecast. 58 to 76 as we go through the afternoon. A chance for some isolated showers later on today. Not everyone gets wet. We'll see those highs right around 78 degrees this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Chris. And as we go today, there's Barrett. She's swimming in that pool. Have a great day, everyone.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.